Hello, my name is Rob Edwards and this is my YouTube channel, and today we're talking Game of Thrones Season 8 Episode 4. There are spoilers throughout everything I'm going to say today, so if you haven't seen the episode yet, why click on... just why, okay? I'm just saying, why? So, as in the last couple of episodes of my Game of Thrones reviews, I want to talk briefly about what I thought of this episode and how it related to my predictions from last week, and then have a quick stab at what I think is coming. But I want to talk a bit more today about my general sense of where we are in the season, and more importantly, where we're going in this season. Because I am starting to get a little bit worried. We have 2 episodes left, and we've had 4 episodes so far that have been, to varying degrees, all right. I think the high point so far this season was episode 2. Episode 3, as you know, I was not happy with at all. And this episode, episode 4, there were some elements in it I really liked. There were some elements in it I really liked. Mostly up until the point where we turned our face away from Winterfell and back down south to King's Landing. All the stuff, the aftermath of the battle, was actually pretty well handled. I really enjoyed seeing the implications of what had happened played out. And I love this thing that they're doing with Dany, where every bit of support that she has brought with her is falling away in one way or another. We've lost Jorah. We've lost apparently half the Dothraki, although I don't know how we managed to lose so few, given what we saw in episode 3. The Unsullied are generally cut down. The new love of her life, Jon Snow, is no longer this reliable stalwart that she saw before because of the reframing of his situation. I really think, genuinely, that my predictions for episode 3 that Dany would turn south before the battle was over would have been a stronger story beat. I don't want to go on about that, but it's kind of true. We are now at a point where Dany is really being set up for a turn to the dark side. And the only way this could be a surprise at this point is if she didn't do it. And yes, that would be surprising and plot twist. But I'm not sure it would be a very satisfying one. I suppose we could still do Dany is stronger than that, Dany is more righteous than that, Dany is, despite everything, really in it for the side of good. If they can pull it off, then brilliant. But I think the more likely course that we're on right now is Jon and his army having to fight off the remnants of Dany's army and the remnants of Cersei's when the big battle happens for the south. But there is stuff that I really enjoyed in episode 4, and most of it was relating to Tyrion. I said earlier in the season that it's been a while since Tyrion has allowed to be Tyrion. And he's drinking again, and somehow we're getting Tyrion back. Is he the smartest person in the room? Yeah, but he's got some blind spots, mostly around his sister. But he is getting to be smart again, something which has been sorely lacking since he shot his dad. So I love the stuff with Tyrion this week. I love the stuff with Varys, and the two of them just sat talking over the whole Dany versus Jon question. Although I did really think that we were going to reveal Tyrion having called the guards on Varys and Varys getting his death. I would have liked that. If only because it would have potentially strengthened Tyrion's position as the guy who is still being smart and being smart for Dany. But I guess against that, the whole point of the moment is that Dany is being removed from her support group. So perhaps it probably was better this way. So we lost another dragon. I mean, okay. I mean, saving him from the undead forces last week, just so that he could die to Euron this week, I would have been much happier if he died against the undead. We had a big battle there between the Night King and undead Viserion, I want to say? No. Yes. Undead Viserion and Rhaegal. So, if those had died, if Jon's dragon had been killed by the White Dragon in the battle, that would have elevated the stakes there. In fact, I was sort of half convinced that that had happened. So seeing him back up and around, only to get him shot by Euron, was a little bit odd. If they'd made the death in Winterfell more obvious and played it up some more, that would have been a stronger beat for that battle. And as it stands here, I guess they're establishing that the Scorpions are a threat to dragons. And we are, again, taking one more thing away from Dany. And that's all part of this dark side turn that we're expecting for her now. And I suppose there is a story reason for doing it. I just don't think that they really have any way to make Euron a bad guy that we are convinced by. He arrived too late in the story. He is too ridiculous to have anything resembling menace. Sure, he's done some stuff for Cersei which will prove useful. Bringing the Golden Company is a big thing. But, I mean, who cares about Euron, really? I mean, really? And then Missandei gets her head chopped off, and the only nice thing about that really is that she gets to say Dracarys as her last words. I quite like that. Look, episode 4 was better than episode 3 for me. It was a stronger episode because it was an episode which was again about story and about character and not just about spectacle, and that is a step in the right direction. But we've had to suddenly accelerate the pacing again to get us to our final 2 episodes, and I do not see how they can pull off an ending that I'm going to be satisfied with from where we are now with only 2 episodes to work with. I just don't see how that happens. So let's finish up with predictions just very quickly, because I don't actually have very many for this episode, and so far my predictions have been remarkably inaccurate. I've not got a thing right so far. I mean, let's face it, everything I've said has been wrong. Although I stand by everything I said, I actually think they would have produced stronger stories than we've had. That's perhaps just hubris on my part, but I still think the Arya prediction I made would have made the Night King story more interesting and the end of the story more interesting for the Night King. Would have produced an earlier turn to the dark side for Dany, if that is where we're going, and I think that would have given us more time to work with the ramifications of it. So I think that's stronger as well, if that's where we're going with Dany. In terms of predictions, stuff's going to happen. It's not a prediction. Stuff is definitely going to happen. I think Dany is not going to turn to the dark because at this point that's the only end point for her current trajectory that could be in any way surprising. I think we're going to see Dany remain strong, remain true to what she has always professed to believe in, and not just what she's been doing recently, which is very much away from what she's professed. I think that we will see her be ruthless. I think we will see her be callous. But I think when it comes to the pinch, when it comes down to the very wire, I think Dany is going to make the right choice, and she is going to hold back. And I think that is when she is going to lose everything. And that is when, because of perceptions, because of the actions that she's taken to this point, it's going to appear to Jon and the army that Jon is travelling with that Dany has gone over to the dark side, and it is going to force Jon to attack. And Dany is going to have to defend herself, even though she was actually going the right direction. As for Cersei, who's going to kill her? Is anyone going to kill her? They tried to set it up in this episode that it looked like Jaime was going back to her, but that's clearly not true. Jaime is definitely going south to kill her. Arya is going south to kill her. The Hound is going south to kill the Mountain. I think. Okay, here's a little bit of predicting for the not Night Queen Arya. She is going to have a chance to kill Cersei. She is going to have a chance to get that blade into Cersei, and in so doing, she will have to sacrifice the Hound to the Mountain. And she will choose not to. She will choose not to go after Cersei because she realises that her friendship with the Hound is too strong, too important to her, more important than crossing a name off her list, and she will stay to help defend and possibly avenge the Hound. I think the Mountain could well win in Clegane Bowl, and I think Arya will stay to avenge and protect the wounded Hound, and she is not going to get a shot at Cersei anymore. She's going to have an opportunity but not take it. And I think that Jaime is fated to be the king killer, and he's going to go into the throne room, and he is going to face off against Cersei and say, look, this has got to be how it is. I've got to put you out. I've got to stop you. This is the only way this can go. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. And she is going to kill him. And I think neither of the people that have set off south to kill Cersei are going to finish the job. And for the first time ever in the series Game of Thrones, I am beginning to wonder whether Cersei could actually win this outright and end up on the throne at the end. I didn't think it was possible. I didn't think that's where the story was going. And I think there could be a chance for Cersei now. I don't think she's going to make it, though. I think in the end it is going to be Jon. It is going to be Jon who's going to have to come in and kill Cersei. Has to be, I think. Because I don't think Jaime's going to do it. I think Jaime is going to die. I don't think Arya's going to do it because she's going to save the Hound. Sorry, I got distracted there by the whole Valonqar and the little brother and thing. And Tyrion, I mean, it would be nice. It would be nice if at the end of the day Tyrion is the one who kills Cersei. Yeah, okay, that's my prediction. Tyrion is killing Cersei. There we go. So, tune in next week when you can see again how wrong I have been about everything I've just said. Everybody's going to kill Cersei. Cersei is definitely not going to survive. And Jon and Dany will end up living happily ever after. And all of my predictions I've just given you will have been completely wrong. That is the way my predictions work. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. And I will see you next week for another disappointing episode of Game of Thrones. No, let's hope not. I will see you next week for the penultimate episode of Game of Thrones. Cheers.